All praise be to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. In the name of Allah, the most affectionate, the merciful, and peace be upon the Holy Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dear students, we are going to discuss your very first lecture in these critical days. As all of you know, that colleges and universities are off due to this wave of COVID-19. May Allah protect all of us and may Allah shower His blessings on all of us and our family members. We are going to start the very first lecture. As you are learning English language, so I'll give you few very important things to understand. The very first thing, as a student of English language, which you must keep in your mind, is that language can't be learnt by traditional method. As now you are grown up and you are in third year class, and I can say with certainty that majority of you have not got command over this language. The problem is not with you. The problem is not with your brains. The problem is in technique. The technique and the method of learning this language is outdated. This is the traditional method which has been proven wrong since long. What is this traditional method? You have been learning this language just by cramming. What is cramming? We call it in Urdu ratta. You just cram few things. You cram few stories, you cram essays, you cram application, and it is supposed that by cramming our students can learn this language. Unfortunately, this is an outdated method, and this is called traditional method of learning a language. This is creating problems for our most of students. That is the reason majority of our students, those who have reached to the university level or those who have reached to the college level, they are unable to speak this language. They are unable to utter a few sentences of this language, and this is the problem in learning technique. How can we overcome this problem? How can we curb this issue? We can overcome this problem by learning this language in a natural way. What is this method? You just try to learn this language as you learned this language, as you learned your mother tongue. The very first language which you learned as a child when you were only 1 year old, and after 2 years you were able to speak fluently that language. Same technique can be adopted here. When you came in this world, your parents taught you a certain language. All over the world, this is the method. First of all, as a child, you listen this language. First of all, you listen this language, and then you try to speak it out. This is the modern technique of learning any language of the world. First of all, listen to the speakers of that language, listen to those who can speak it fluently, and then try to speak it out yourself rather than cramming. As you listen to your parents, you listen to your relatives, you listen to your near and dear ones, and a time came in your life when you were also speaking this language fluently. So the basic method which we learned by this lecture is to learn the language as nature has taught you. Nature has taught you two methods. The first is to listen. Listen to the speakers of that language. Listen to your teacher and then try to speak it out yourself. This is the basic technique, and with this technique you learn your mother tongue, and especially with this technique you can learn this foreign language. This is the proper and basic way of learning any language of the world. Language is not a syrup which you will take and after few moments you will able to speak. Language is not a talisman which you will wear and a time will come when you will be able to speak that language. Language is a natural process. It takes time, but if you learn this language in a natural way, then you will be able to get command over this language. Then you can speak this particular language, you can understand this particular language, you can write this language yourself, and you can read as well. Unfortunately, in our schools, especially government schools, in our colleges and universities, this method of teaching is not adopted. We adopt outdated, old fashioned, traditional method which is cramming based. And what is the result? Our students are unable to get command over this language. They just cram few things, they just cram few ideas, and then they photocopy it onto the paper. That's why our students, when in professional life, they are supposed to write few sentences, they are supposed to speak few sentences, they are supposed to understand this language, they are totally fail. They meet failure. And the reason behind it, I have already told you, the reason is in false technique of learning this language. I hope you must have understood this very first lecture. Try to understand this language by listening. Listen to your teacher, listen to those who can speak this language, and then try to speak yourself. This is the right way to learn any language of the world. And wrong method, I have already told you, this method has been adopted by our schools, colleges and universities since long, and it has been proven wrong. I hope all of you must understand, and you will also try to learn this language as nature has taught you the technique. Stay blessed. Allah Hafiz. Inshallah we'll meet in the next lecture.